I don't even know where to start because honestly, I'm still trying to piece this whole nightmare together in my head. My name's Jake, I'm 32, and I was supposed to get married last weekend. Everything was perfect, at least that's what I thought. I had been with my wife, Emily, for about 3 years. She's the kind of girl who can charm the pants off anyone, loud, bitchy, and always saying what's on her mind. But deep down, I thought she was the one. We had plans, a future. At least I did. She always joked about how she wanted to be a stay-at-home wife, and I was ready to give her that life. Or so I believed. The signs started subtly, or maybe I was just blind. She was a little more distant in the last few weeks before the wedding, but I chalked it up to stress. She'd always be bitchy about the smallest things, her back hurt, she was tired, she didn't want to talk about the wedding too much. Nothing unusual, I thought. But then she started canceling plans last minute, saying she was busy with wedding stuff, that she had to handle herself. I did think much of it because she's always been kind of controlling about her own life. Still, I remember one night I caught her on her phone late, texting someone with a kind of urgency she never used with me. I asked who it was and she just snapped back something about it being her sister. Looking back, I should have paid closer attention, but I didn't. I was stupidly trusting. The worst part, she kept telling me how much she loved me, that I was the only one, and that she couldn't wait to be married. She even lied about being pregnant, said she'd just found out, that she wanted to surprise me on the wedding day. I was over the moon. She said she didn't want to tell anyone yet because she was scared, but she wanted to have a little bundle of joy with me. It was the ultimate manipulative move, and I didn't see it coming. The day of the wedding, everything seemed perfect on the surface. The sun was shining, her family was there, mine was excited. I was nervous but happy. As I waited at the altar, my heart pounding, I kept texting her, just random stuff, to make her smile, but something felt off. She was acting weird, distant, distracted. When she finally appeared, she looked stunning, but her eyes were too cold, too distant. During the ceremony, I noticed she kept fidgeting, looking around like she was waiting for something or someone. I remember feeling a strange sense of unease, but I brushed it off. She was my girl, my future wife. Nothing could ruin this. After the ceremony, I caught her alone for a minute, just us. She looked at me with that fake, sweet smile and whispered how much she loved me, how everything was perfect. I touched her belly, joking about how soon we'd be parents. She playfully slapped my hand away, laughing, but there was something sharp in her eyes. That's when I saw it, little cracks in her facade. I wanted to believe she was just nervous, just overwhelmed. But something told me I'd been naive. Little did I know that was just the calm before the storm. The night of the wedding, I thought I was finally catching my breath. Everyone was celebrating, and Emily was acting a little more relaxed, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. I remember going to the hotel room, expecting her to be there waiting, but she was. When I called her, she told me she was talking to her cousin and that she'd be right back. That was weird because she usually avoided her family drama, but I figured she just needed some space. A few minutes later, I decided to check her phone. I know, it's not exactly respectful, but I was feeling uneasy and wanted to see if she'd been hiding anything. That's when I saw the texts. They weren't just friendly, casual conversations. No, they were flirtatious, way too intimate. The messages from Tom kept talking about how much she missed him, how badly they needed to see each other. I felt my stomach drop. Tom is my brother, my own flesh and blood. I couldn't believe it. I stared at the screen, feeling a mix of shock, anger, and just pure heartbreak. I didn't sleep that night. I kept replaying everything in my head. Her lies about being pregnant, her fake tears when she told me she loved me, her whispered promises. And now I found out she'd been cheating on me with my brother during what I thought was the happiest weekend of my life. The betrayal cut deep. It wasn't just cheating, it was deception on a whole new level. She lied to me about her pregnancy, made me believe we were building a family, and in the process she was screwing my own brother. I couldn't wrap my head around it. The next morning I confronted her. I couldn't hold it in anymore. I waited until she came out of the bathroom, her hair a little messy from sleep, her face trying to look innocent. I threw her phone on the bed and showed her the messages. Her face instantly went pale. She tried to deny everything, blabbering about how it didn't mean anything, that she was just caught up in the moment, that she loved me and it was a mistake. She called her affair a stupid lapse, and then she started crying, saying how she didn't want to ruin everything, how she was so stressed about the wedding and the pregnancy she was faking. I was furious. I asked her how long it had been going on and she just shrugged, acting like it was nothing. She told me she never loved Tom, that she only slept with him because she needed reassurance or some bullshit. She kept lying, spinning her web of excuses, trying to make me feel guilty for catching her, but I wasn't falling for it. I felt sick. My whole world was crashing down, and she had the nerve to cry and say she was sorry like that would fix anything. I couldn't believe I'd been such an idiot. I had trusted her with everything, my heart, my future, and she'd just been lying to my face the entire time. I wanted to scream, to shake her, to make her admit how much she'd betrayed me. Instead, I just stood there, feeling numb, watching her pretend to be the victim. That's when I realized this wasn't just about infidelity. It was about a complete lack of respect, honesty, and decency. I thought I knew her, but I didn't. I never did. After I confronted her, Emily just kept crying and pleading, acting like a victim, like I was the one who screwed everything up. She kept saying she didn't mean for it to happen, and that it was just a moment of weakness. Yeah, right. Like that makes any sense. After I saw the messages with my own eyes, she kept insisting that she'd only slept with Tom once or twice, and that she'd been feeling lost and confused about everything, including the fake pregnancy. She threw in that she loved me so much, and that she never meant to hurt me. Honestly, hearing her say that, I just felt a mix of rage and heartbreak. How can someone be so manipulative and cold? I remember walking out of the hotel room, feeling like my world was shattering into pieces. I couldn't even focus on what I was supposed to do next. I told her I needed some time alone, and I left. I spent the rest of the day wandering around, trying to process what I just learned. Every thought was a punch to the gut. I'd been played, lied to, and betrayed by the woman I was supposed to marry. The woman I loved. It was like my heart had been ripped out. How could I have been so blind? She lied about being pregnant to manipulate me, to keep me hooked, and then she cheated on me with my own brother, right under my nose. That night I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying the scene, her tears, her excuses, her lies. I kept thinking about how she'd look me in the eyes and swear she loved me, but behind my back she was fucking my brother. It's like a bad joke, but it's real. I felt so betrayed, so stupid for trusting her. I started questioning everything, the future we'd planned, her love, her honesty. It all felt meaningless now. I wanted to scream, to break something, or just run away and never look back. But I knew I had to face the truth. I'd been played for a fool, and she had no regard for what I felt. The next few days were a blur. I didn't go to the wedding reception. I couldn't. Instead, I stayed in my apartment trying to figure out what to do. I didn't want to confront her again, not then. I just felt numb, like my feelings had been drained completely. All I could think about was how she lied about being pregnant, how she'd used that to manipulate me into marriage, and then she cheated with my own brother. It was just too much. I've never felt so broken, so angry all at the same time. How could she do this? How could she lie so easily, smile so convincingly, and then stab me in the back? That's what I kept asking myself. Over the next few days, I started to piece things together, but honestly, I felt like I was in a fog. Every time I thought about her lying about being pregnant, I got sick to my stomach. She kept telling me she was sorry, but sorry didn't even begin to cover it. For a while, I wondered if I should try to forgive her, maybe work through it, but the more I thought about the lies, the more I realized that trust was shattered beyond repair. She had lied about the biggest thing, about starting a family, and then she turned around and cheated with my brother. It was like she had planned this entire betrayal for weeks, maybe longer. I knew I had to confront my brother, Tom, too. I couldn't just let this go. I called him the morning after I found the messages. His voice was defensive, trying to downplay everything, saying it was just sex, that there was nothing serious. But I didn't care about his excuses. I told him how much he'd hurt me, how much of a piece of shit he was for screwing over his own brother like that. Honestly, I wanted to punch him through the phone, but instead I just told him if I ever saw him near Emily again, I'd make sure he regretted it. That's how angry I was. I never thought my own brother would betray me like that, especially during my wedding. Emily kept trying to contact me, but I didn't answer. Every message was a desperate plea, a tearful apology, or some bullshit about how she still loved me. But I couldn't take it. I felt too betrayed. How could I trust her again? How could I ever look her in the eye without remembering that she lied about being pregnant, that she cheated on me, and that she lied to my face about everything? It was all too much. I started to realize that the woman I thought I knew was just a master manipulator. She lied for so long, I'm not even sure who she really was. Eventually, I decided I couldn't stay with her, at least not like this. I told her to leave my apartment, and she did, screaming and crying, trying to make me feel guilty. But I just felt numb. I didn't know what I wanted anymore. I never imagined things would end like this, not after all the promises, not after I'd trusted her with everything. The feeling of betrayal is a weight that I can't shake. Every time I close my eyes, I see her face, hear her lies, and remember her sneaking around with Tom. It's like the worst nightmare I can't wake up from. Looking back, what hurts the most is knowing I was so blind, so trusting, that I didn't see the warning signs. The distant attitude, the fake pregnancy, the secret texts, everything was right in front of me. I just didn't want to see it. But now I'm left with a broken heart, a sense of betrayal that runs so deep it's hard to breathe. I don't know what the future holds, but I do know one thing. I've learned a brutal lesson about trust, deception, and how some people will lie and cheat right under your nose, pretending to be the perfect partner. After she finally left, I was left sitting, alone in my apartment, the silence almost deafening. I didn't know if I should feel relief that I finally knew the truth, or if I should feel even worse because the truth was so damn painful. I kept replaying everything in my head, her lies about the pregnancy, her cheating with Tom, how she looked me in the eyes and betrayed me so easily. Honestly, I felt like I'd been punched in the chest so many times I couldn't breathe. How could someone I loved do this to me? How could she lie about being pregnant to manipulate me into marrying her, then cheat on me during the wedding weekend with my own brother? Over the next few days, I kept trying to process everything. I started to realize that I'd been so naive, so trusting, that I let someone completely manipulate my feelings. It was like I was living in a bad movie. I'd always thought Emily was this confident, bitchy girl who knew what she wanted, but now I see she was just a master manipulator. She lied about being pregnant, and I believed her because I wanted to believe in her. I wanted, more than anything, a future with her, but she was just pretending to be the girl I fell for, pretending to be someone she was. I also thought about my brother. The betrayal is almost worse because he's supposed to be family. My own flesh and blood, someone I trusted. And he did this to me. I can't count the number of times I looked out for him, helped him out of jams, and now I find out he's been screwing my wife during the most important weekend of my life. The anger in me is so intense that sometimes I just want to lash out. I've never felt so betrayed, so humiliated. I thought I knew them, but I guess I never really did. I've spent days trying to piece together how I missed all the signs, how I was so blind to what was happening right under my nose. The worst part is, I still love her. Or at least I did. Maybe I still do in some fucked up way, because part of me wants to believe she's just a messed up girl who made terrible choices. But deep down, I know that love is gone. It's been replaced by a bitter, hollow emptiness. I can't stand the thought of her pretending to be innocent and remorseful, acting like she was just a victim of her own bad decisions. She's not. She's a liar and a cheat, and she used me. The fact that she lied so convincingly about the pregnancy, using it as a tool to manipulate me into marrying her, makes me sick. I feel like I was duped, like I was nothing more than a pawn in her game. So now I'm at a crossroads. Do I try to salvage whatever is left of this mess, or do I cut ties completely? Honestly, I'm leaning toward ending it. I don't think I can ever trust her again, not after what I've uncovered. I don't think I could look her in the eye and not see the lies. But part of me still feels broken, lost, like I've lost the only woman I ever loved. It's a terrible feeling, and I don't know if I'll ever fully recover from it. All I know is that I've learned a harsh lesson about trust, betrayal, and how some people will lie and cheat right in front of your face without a second thought. It's a Cruel, brutal awakening, and honestly, I wish I'd never found out. Now I'm just trying to pick up the pieces of my shattered life. It's not easy. Every day feels like a battle between anger, sadness, and a sick sense of betrayal. I keep asking myself how I didn't see it coming, how I was so blind to the signs. The truth is, I wanted to believe in her so badly, wanted the fairy tale ending, so I ignored all the red flags. That was my biggest mistake. Trusting someone who clearly had no respect for me or the vows we were about to make. I thought I was strong enough to handle anything, but this was too much. I've learned that some people aren't just bad, they're manipulative and willing to destroy everything you've built for their own selfish reasons. Emily was a master at pretending, at twisting the truth, and at playing the victim when she got caught. I see now that her lies about the pregnancy weren't just about hiding an affair. They were about control, about keeping me under her thumb long enough to get what she wanted. Once I saw through that, everything else fell apart. The wedding, the future, my trust, all of it gone in a flash. I've made the decision to move on. It hurts like hell, but I can't keep living in this nightmare. I don't want to be with someone who lies so effortlessly, who manipulates and cheats. I deserve better than that. It's probably going to take time, maybe years, to really heal from this, but I have to believe I'll get there. I want to find someone who's honest, who respects me and loves me for who I am, not someone who lies about pregnancies and cheats with my brother during our wedding weekend. Looking back, I realize I should have listened to those little gut feelings, the moments I brushed aside the red flags. I should have known that her distant attitude, the secretive texts, her fake pregnancy, those were all warning signs. But I was too blinded by love and hope to see the truth. That's a hard lesson to learn, but one I won't forget. To anyone out there going through something similar, trust your instincts. Don't ignore the signs. Don't let anyone manipulate your feelings like I did. It's better to be alone and honest than to stay with someone who's just pretending to love you. Love is supposed to lift you up, not tear you apart, and I've learned that the hard way. Now I'm focusing on healing, on rebuilding what's left of my life, and on making sure I never get caught in this kind of terrible trap again. Sometimes, the pain is so deep you think it'll never go away. But eventually, time does heal. And when it does, I hope I'll be stronger for it.